you recognize this 1980 Ford Econoline van? If you're a Canadian, you should.
I'm sitting behind the wheel of a 1980 Ford Econoline custom van. This is probably one of the most famous vehicles in Canadian history. And when you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
It was hard to tell what was going on from being home in British Columbia here, what the impact that Terry was having on our country. You know, this van was Terry and Doug Alward's home, you know, through those first several months, so yeah.
So what happened to it after the Marathon of Hope?
Well, as we all know, Terry was forced to stop because the cancer returned in September 1980, September 1st, and it went back into southern Ontario, and Ford reclaimed it. Ford had donated the van to Terry to use on the Marathon of Hope, and it was sold to a family, and they used it as a camperized van for a few years.
Did they know?
Yeah, I think people, in the end, 3 different owners had it, and I think every one of them knew what they had. You know, they always knew, and then when it came to the fellow out here who ended up using it for his rock band, contacted our younger brother Daryl and said, I've got the van, and Daryl had a chance to see it, and they were able to confirm, yep, certainly it was, through the VIN number and everything else. Ford was more than gracious to help cover the restoration of it, so they covered every cent of restoring the van, and it ended up back in southern Ontario, and Keith McDade and his group of young guys restored the van.
So what was the biggest challenge putting it all back together? Was it finding the materials used on the inside, or what's the toughest part?
I think all of it was tough because it wasn't really as much of a restoration as it was a conservation. So we had to try and find things that weren't around anymore. And as an example, the cabinetry that was in the vehicle, it was originally, you know, built by MacTac. Well, MacTac hasn't been made in 20 years, right? I mean, the carpet was annihilated when we got it, but was hand scrubbed for 6 days. You know, getting involved in this project really sort of reintroduced the humanity in people to me. I couldn't believe the amount of people that just dropped everything to help. And I'll give you an example. The engine builder built us an engine in 4 days, right? His mom had passed from cancer. Whatever we needed, he built for us, right? Transmission was ready in a few days. We had people that worked around the clock tirelessly. The little venue that we worked out of was in the back of a gentleman's house in Bradford, a friend of mine. We slept in his basement. You know, it truly brought out the goodness in people.
This was Terry's, where Doug and Terry, for the first month or so, they slept in here almost every evening. Sure, along the way, people will put them up in their home, you know, invite them over for dinner and everything else, but there were so many times when they were in the middle of nowhere where they stayed in this van. Terry came into this van every 2 miles. He had a rest stop. He you know, had some fruit or a drink of water or something, and this is where he felt protected.
This vehicle is like no other. I've been involved in restoring, you know, multi-million-dollar vehicles. This is the only vehicle that I know of that Canadians walk up to and touch and brings tears to their eyes. You know, it is that special to Canadians.
Well, if you missed any of today's show, you can go to our website, drivingtelevision.com, and watch it in its entirety. You can watch all of the shows we've ever done, plus all of our web-only TV.
Want more? Check out drivingtelevision.com for expanded reviews and more automotive stories.